Good evening. I'm Eugene Chan and welcome to Straight Talk. Today, we are privileged to have with us the Honourable Jin Juan, Secretary for Environment and Ecology. Mr. Jie brings nearly 4 decades of experience from our Environmental Protection Department, serving on a wide range of professional and senior managerial levels. He became a Deputy Director of Environmental Protection Department in 2013, and then Under-Secretary for the Environment in 2017, during which time he helped spearhead the formulation of policies on air quality, waste management, climate action and conservation. He has been Secretary for Environment and Ecology under the current administration for 18 months, and we are going to ask him to help us all understand the soon-to-be-introduced waste disposal, so-called charging for municipal solid waste. Welcome, Secretary Jie.
Hello, nice to see you.
Thank you for coming, Secretary. As you know, as the title of the show goes, why are we talking about rubbish on Straight Talk? You know, in a city like Hong Kong, where space is limited, and we have a very high population density, the management of waste is not just a logistical challenge, but a critical environmental concern. I'm sure that's the reason why we're doing all this environmental protection. And can we start off with telling our viewers, why do we need a new scheme?
Well, first of all, I have to say that the government introduces the waste charging scheme is not for collection of money from the community. Actually, it's a scheme to help promote the development of a green living culture in Hong Kong, so that we can promote a reduction of waste as well as to promote recycling of the resources in the city. And waste charging has been implemented in many cities all over the world. I think the first cities introduced that almost half a century ago. Even in Asia, cities like Seoul in Korea has introduced that waste charging for over 20 years and for make tremendous improvement in waste reduction and the promotion of recycling. We believe for Hong Kong, we should do the same, so as to develop our own green living culture and waste reduction and recycling culture also.
Right, Secretary. I just want to ask you, when we do create waste, like when you go to buy something, you come up with a bag, someone gives you a present, you unwrap it, there's also paper waste as well. Is there any trend in personal waste? Is there any increasing trend or decreasing trend per capita in Hong Kong? Do you have any data on that?
If we look at the waste disposal trend, actually it's very correlated to what we call the GDP, because basically waste production is a result of our economy. When together with the growth of our economy, the waste will increase. In Hong Kong, now each day we are producing 11,000 tons of garbage per day.
11 tons.
11,000 tons.
11,000 tons. Wow.
Yeah, per day. I think that is terrible. And most important of all, in Hong Kong, because of our history, the waste are buried in the landfills. It occupies the very precious land in Hong Kong. And therefore, I think it's very important for us to reduce the production of waste. And also, we need to develop our own recycling industry.
Right.
I think.
So, Secretary, just now you said that with the GDP correlates with the amount of rubbish that we have. Does Hong Kong people produce more rubbish than the rest of the neighboring cities? Just a matter of interest?
For example, if we compare to Seoul or compare to other cities in Japan, I think in terms of economic development, we should be of a similar level, roughly. Actually, we are producing almost doubling the waste quantity compared to them.
Really?
Yes, and therefore I think it is very imminent for us to do something in order to reduce our waste production.
Well, thank you for sharing that data, because I'm sure not many viewers realize we're producing more garbage than the other cities. So what exactly do we have to do to support the scheme?
Well, basically, people will need to do, in simple terms, just do one thing under the waste charging scheme. Of course, that is not the end of it. We want people to do more. because well, the objective of the waste charging scheme is to promote well, our waste reduction and well, our recycling. Well, I will talk about that later. And in simple terms, so after the waste charging scheme is implemented, for example, now you are throwing your waste, well, maybe in some waste bins in the back staircase or there, or in a waste collection room somewhere in the floor in the building, or you use a plastic bag to wrap the waste, and before you put it into those places. Well, after the scheme, well, you need to buy a designated bag. Right. Yeah, a designated bag, and use that bag, well, which is green in color, to wrap the waste and then throw it in the places the same as before.
Right.
Yeah, through buying the bag, you are going to pay well for the volume of it. Okay. If you produce more waste, well, you have to buy more bag or buy a larger bag, or in order to wrap it. And through that sort of waste, well, you pay for it, yeah.
Right.
And because you have to pay for it, then people, well, I think in experience in other cities is that people will change their behavior. They will pick the recyclables from those waste in order to reduce the money to buy the bags, yeah. And therefore, so you pick the plastic bottles.
So it's interesting. You're saying that we are not charging, we're not doing this to make money for the government,
right?
But we are charging the bag so that people will feel the pain when they have to buy a bag. The more you throw away, the more you have to pay to buy more bags. You have to pay, right?
Yes.
So in a way, so the benefit of the charging is basically as a deterrent effect. Hopefully that we won't throw as much away. Is that correct?
Yes, that is precisely well the purpose of waste charging. Yeah.
Right.
Changing people's behavior. Yeah.
Right. With other cities that you've said have also gone this waste charging, do they charge similar waste as well?
Oh yes, I think in Asia, well, in Korea or also in Taipei, yeah, I think the waste charging rates were very similar. Yeah, same order of magnitude.
Right. All right. So I'm sure that the viewers realize that in the last few days over the news, there are a lot of concern from property management industry, from the resident corporations, even the cleaners, even the general public, a lot of questions. Some have said that citizens will just throw things away from their home now, maybe in the back staircase. How are you going to prevent that?
Well, I think what the purpose of waste charging, well, is to develop a culture and to change people's behavior, yeah. And of course, I think at the very beginning, well, some people will do that, yeah. But well, I think the experience in other places is that when the scheme is introduced, many people they will change their behavior, and these people will influence other people,
right.
And through this influence, the community will getting more and more people to do it, yeah. Right. And then of course it takes time. Usually, it takes about 3 to 5 years. Then most of the community will be converted, and therefore will be developing a new culture.
So when you say that it develop culture takes time.
Yeah.
So what if I'm postulating
right.
that if people start to throwing more things on the street, on the rooftops, or even it may get to us a more dirtier Hong Kong. I mean, that's going to affect our tourism as well. So has your department considered this at all?
Oh, yes. I think, actually, this term of government, I think you are aware that, we are very determined, to clean up the city. Yeah, and therefore we have stepped up our enforcement for people who are fly tipping waste all over the place. Yeah, and we have also increased the fixed penalty ticket for fly tipping. Yeah, from the previously $1,500 to $3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and therefore no matter when and no matter at whatever places littering will be caught. Yeah, we will step up our enforcement against littering.
Would you be having a night enforcement team going around the city?
Oh, well, we'll respond to complaints, and therefore, if there's some black spots, people are doing that, frequently some places, yes, we'll send people to catch those people. But sometimes, people in Hong Kong, they are rational. Yeah, you mentioned that people, they try to throw rubbish away because they want to save money.
Yes.
Yeah, they want to save money. And therefore, they should actually look at it in a rational way. Yeah, if you are going to throw away those litters, if you do it every day, sooner or later you will be caught. Yeah, sooner or later. Once you are caught, at least you'll be fined $3,000. Yeah, $3,000 is sufficient for you to buy those bags for several years. Yeah. Therefore, if the purpose of doing that is to save money, it is of course much better for you to buy those bags rather than to throw those litters away.
Right, good point. Let's take a break now, and viewers, stay tuned. We will see you right back here on Straight Talk in just a few moments. Thank you for staying with us. The Secretary of Environment and Ecology, Mr. Jin Juan, is on the show this evening, and we have been talking about the department's plan to charge for municipal solid waste. So, Secretary, in the first half of the show, you said very clearly that this scheme is mainly to reduce the wastage and rubbish for Hong Kong because we're producing so much, 11,000 tons a day, which is a lot, and is causing concern to our environment. Right. And we are trying to change the culture of people. Hopefully in 3 to 5 years' time, we all have a better respect to our environment, and it's going to be much greener in Hong Kong. Right. And one thing that we have talked about earlier is about the concerns of people, and in particular, this green bag we have here. There have been, maybe you can tell people what you expect them to do. For example, one of the sort of a eye-catching story is talk about the broomstick. What can you do about a long broomstick that doesn't fit in the bag? And some say that you can cut into half or you can do whatever. So maybe you can tell the viewers what you expect us to support the scheme with the bag, and how about those bigger items? What do we have to do?
So after the scheme is implemented, what people should do is that, in the past, you use a plastic bag, maybe it's a white bag or a bag in black in color, you just go to buy a designated bag, like this one. We have 9 sizes, different sizes.
9 sizes, yes.
Yeah, okay. And therefore you can buy one suitable for yourself, and then you wrap those waste with the bag and then throw it away exactly in the same way as you have done it before. Yeah. And
so it's very simple.
Very simple. Yeah, not difficult for you. Yeah, just buy the bag and then throw it away exactly in the same way as before.
Then why are people so concerned? They talk about the bag is going to be easily poked through, and then you'll be fined if it cuts open the bag. Is that true?
Oh yes. I think earlier there's some rumors spreading around, and also a video in the web that says that those bags can be broken very easily. Yeah, and actually the bags were shown in the video were false bags. Not actually our designated bag. Right. Our designated is just normal bags which can be used for waste disposal, just like other waste bags. The same, actually they're the same. We do not have that sort of worry. And that's why after we have these bags sold in the market, when people see the actual bags, they understand that these are normal waste bags. No need to worry about the quality of the bags itself. They can be used to wrap waste just in the same way as before.
In the past, even today, if you're going to throw some waste away, you have your white or black rubbish bag at home. Then wrap it up. Or sometimes when you go out to have a meal, they give you a bag to carry some leftover food back. Then some of you use that bag to wrap your waste.
Right.
And now it looks like we are putting those. We used to use that bag as a rubbish bag, and now we're buying a new designated bag. Are we not creating more bags for this decomposition for long term? Are you worried about that?
Well, 2 points. One is that we are encouraging people to change their behavior to reduce bags. And therefore that we have a campaign before to promote people to bring your own bag. Don't use those plastic bags provided by the supermarkets or other suppliers. That is one point. But nonetheless, those plastic bags are recyclable. And if you have those white bags or black bags at home, you can take those to our green at community stations. They can collect it for recycling. They won't be dumped as waste. And also now we are talking to the not actually talking. We have agreed with the supermarkets and those chain stores that they will also show some bags in retail. And therefore, if you go to a supermarket, you have forgotten to bring your own bag, you can buy a designated bag.
Over there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
That designated bag, when you take it home, you can use to wrap your waste, and therefore you don't waste any bags. Yeah.
Right, there's a good way to make that bag more use than just throwing the rubbish away, isn't it?
Right, right.
Sorry I have to go on, see one more question on the bags, because there are a lot of rumors about this green bag. They were saying that there are even fake garbage bags online. So how do you expect the actual cleaner, when they collect the rubbish from any households, how can they tell whether that bag is authentic or fake? What if they found, okay, it's definitely fake, then what do they do with the garbage? Do you have any guidelines for them?
Oh, actually, we do not expect those cleaners to try to identify which bags are true, are genuine, which are false. We do not expect them to do so, yeah, because I think the responsibility to catch those people who are selling those fake bags, I think lies with the government. Yeah, we are working with the customs to catch those people, and we also send our staff to inspect the shops, etc., to make sure that they are selling genuine bags. For the residents or for a city, for normal people, it's very easy for them. To identify those shops because we will have a label. If you go to those shops with the labels authorized retailers, then the bags you are going to buy will be the genuine one. And if you do not bother to look at those labels, then go to those big chain or supermarkets and those convenience stores, and they will guarantee you are going to buy the genuine bags. Yeah.
Right. Okay, let me ask one further question on bags. Yeah. There are some aged homes and elderly, they say that they will need more waste every day, like diapers or incontinence pads or whatnot. Some they have to change a few times a day, so they're going to have more garbage. And I understand that the Bureau, the government, may give some subsidy to those sort of less privileged or less off people. So in a way, while this is a scheme they are not charging for charging, would it end up that the so-called, those who follow the rules are subsidizing the rest of the community on the charges? Would you agree to that?
Well, under the scheme, for those people receiving what we call the comprehensive social security assistance, and also people receiving the old age allowance, for each person will be receiving $10 more. And therefore, we know that for those people in need, they need some assistance. And therefore, say for a family of 3 members are receiving CSSA, they'll be receiving about $30. And if 4 people, they're getting $40. Yeah. If they do a little bit, to separate the recyclable, etc., those money should be sufficient for them. Yeah, should be sufficient for them. Yeah, and of course, you have mentioned about those elderly people. Maybe for those people who also disabled, they might need more support. Yeah, and therefore, together with the social welfare department, we'll be talking to the trades. Yeah. Okay. First, we'll try to arrange some practice to see to teach them how to work under the scheme, and then to identify where there's any problems or in which way the government can help and also provide some support. Of course, we do not want to create unnecessary problems to them. Yeah. Right. But if they practice waste reduction and also recycling, it should also help a bit. Yeah.
Right. Let me ask you a direct question. While the government should pay subsidies to those people on CSSA grant or people with needs, and also it's charging the community for buying a bags and whatever. Is this the right time to implement the scheme where our economy is under severe challenge? I mean, everybody understands a lot of businesses are not doing well, shops are closed, and I'm sure we're all waiting for the budget, see what's going to happen to the budget. Are you concerned? Launching right now at this time, is it appropriate time?
Yes, I think, that is one reason why I will allow more time for people to understand it, allow more time for us to demonstrate to people how it will be done, so that people will see that it can be implemented in a relatively simple manner. It's not too disturbing to people. Yeah. And actually, if the scheme is implemented successfully, it will help to take away those recyclables, but separate those recyclables for recycling. Yeah, the collection of those recyclables and also the recycling process for downstream will help develop a new green industry in Hong Kong. Yeah. And for example, for those green air community stations established by the Environmental Protection Department, you go there, you see that they have employed many young people there. Okay. Many young people there. Right. If we have if the volume of the recyclables are scaled up, then they will generate more employment. Right. And also for the grassroots, yeah, because for the handling of the recyclables, etc., collection, we create jobs for the grassroots. Yeah. Right. And actually, that can help. That can help. Therefore, many places, after the epidemic or the pandemic, people are talking about a green recovery, right? Because they believe this green transformation can help the economy to recover. Right. I think that is also one side of the story. Yeah. Will,
under your leadership, are you going to provide more sort of recycle points to pick up? Because looks like now there's only one in one district, for example. It's not very convenient. Will there be plans to increase?
Now we have 42 stations as well as 170 mobile collection points over the territory. Yeah, and yes, the answer is that we'll continue to expand the collection network, right, because we believe that is a good way to encourage people to practice
Secretary,
waste recycling.
One last question before the show ends. I'm sure any successful policy needs good communication. Mm-hmm. Will you say that up until today, the communication between the government and the people, although it's of good intention, can it be improved? And how will you do it in next 4 months?
Definitely, we have to do it better, make it better. Yeah, communication should be done in a better way. That's why we'll arrange for certain demonstrations for people to see how waste charging is going to put in practice. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, Secretary, but thank you very much for taking all our questions on this and the real hot topic of charging for municipal solid waste. I trust that your Bureau will take all the feedback you have received and work to deliver the best solution for Hong Kong residents. Environmental activist Greta Thunberg said, "Let us not be known as the generation that talked about rubbish, but as the one that took bold steps towards a cleaner and greener future." Have a good evening and see you next week.